So the first video in our series here is going to deal with that link between the supplier. I think of them as the producer. This is where the goods or services originate. It could be a manufacturer who actually produces, creates the goods. It could be an importer that brings them in from another country. However that goes about. And then, of course, from there, usually they don't go directly from there to a consumer. It goes to some sort of distributor. And this could be several steps at the distributor. It could go directly to a retail store where it's sold to the consumer, or it could go to a distributor who then distributes it to different chains of retail stores. Many retail stores have several levels of distribution before it actually hits the shelf to be purchased. We're going to classify all those under the same category, condense that into a single step as the distributor. So as we go from supplier to distributor, some of the calculations we need to talk about. In many cases, that distributor is not going to pay full price from the supplier. There's something called trade discount. These trade discounts serve many purposes. In many cases, they are incentives. If that distributor is a good customer, they buy a lot of merchandise from that supplier, they'll earn a trade discount of a certain percentage that they get off of everything that they buy because they've been such a high volume customer. It may take the form of incentives, new products that are out there that trying to get them on the market, so they're offering a discount to a distributor to take that risk and try those products and see if they can distribute them to their customers. So either way, a trade discount is a percentage that is deducted from a total price. So if we have, goods that cost $800 and we receive a 12% trade discount. Now I should clarify, this cost is what we're going to refer to as a list price. So that's the price that anybody off the street can walk in and buy those products for, is $800. But this distributor has earned a 12% trade discount. So they are not going to pay that full price of $800. Now, if you call from your basic percents, the whole amount is 100%. When we're dealing with a situation like this, that whole amount gets split into two pieces. The trade discount and then the net price. The net price is what that distributor is going to pay after their trade discount. So here we see that trade discount is 12%. Well, if it totals 100%, that means there's 88% left that is the net price. You'll note here, 12 plus 88 equals 100%. Now, if you're wondering, well, how did I get the 88 in the first place? I just reversed that process. We had 100%. We subtracted the 12% to leave us with 88% left over for the net price. So it's always 100% minus the trade discount. Gives us that percent for the net price. So in this case, which percent we use depends on what we're actually looking for. If I want to find the amount of the trade discount, well, I choose the percent that goes with the trade discount. That is the 12%. So I take that list price, remember that list price was $800, and I multiply by the 12%. Now we're going to make that into a rate Remember, a rate is the decimal form of a percent. So 12% becomes 0.12. It's going to be $96. That is the dollar amount of the trade discount. If I wanted to find the actual list price, or not list price, the net price, the amount of the net price, that's going to be my full amount, the list price of $800, times the percent for the net price, which is 88%. Now again, we're going to change that into a rate. So as a decimal, 88% is 0.88. We multiply that out, 800 times 0.88 is $704. That is the net price. That's what that distributor actually pays for those goods. Now it doesn't stay that simple. It's the calculation can go both directions. We could find the list price for goods with a net price of $960 after an 8% trade discount. So again, we know that that whole thing is 100%. And that's going to get split up into the trade discount and the net price. The trade discount is 8%, which means 100 minus 8 means 92% is the net price. So we're looking here, we have to see what we are representing. The $960 represents the net price after the discounts. That's the net price. So that $960 goes with the 92%. Then we have to ask, what are we looking for? Are we looking for the amount of the trade discount, or are we looking for the whole thing, the original list price? And here we were asked to find the list price for those goods. So what we're trying to find is the amount here that is the 100%. So we've got 92% over 100%, and the $960 is the net price. That goes with the 92%. I like to organize it in a proportion like this. We can cross multiply and divide. 100 times 960 divided by 92. So 100 times 960 divided by 92 is $1,043.48. So that was the original list price before that 8% trade discount to the nearest penny. Sometimes we have multiple trade discounts. These are referred to as chain trade discounts. They're referred to as chain. If you think of a chain, you have one link then followed by another. And that's exactly how this works. It's one discount followed by another. There's two terms that come up. One is concurrent, and the other is consecutive. Concurrent means they happen at the same time. Concurrent would make life really easy here. If we had a chain discount, let's say we had a 9-4. That notation means that it's a 9% discount and a 4% discount. So two trade discounts. A concurrent discount means they would happen at the same time. We would just do 9 plus 4 equals 13, and that'd be a 13% discount. Our trade discounts do not happen that way. Chain implies one after the other, which is consecutive. So that happen one after another. So what that means is we take our 9% discount first, then we do the 4% discount. So it ends up being not quite a full 13%. So let's take merchandise that has a list price, and let's just do an even $1,000 so we can see how the percents stack up. The amount that would be paid here, the list price, or sorry, the net price after the first discount of 9, remember, we have 100% is the full price, 9% discount leaves us with 91% for the net price. Remember, 100 minus 9. So we would take that $1,000 times 0.91 is the decimal form of 91%, giving us $910 after that first 9% discount. However, that still has to go through the 4% discount. So we take our $910 times 4% would leave us with a 96% net price. Remember, 100 minus 4 is 96. So we would take that 910 times 0.96, which is going to give us $873.60. That is our net price after the chain trade discount, after there's 2 discounts here. I've seen chain trade discounts go up to 3 of them, and we'll look at examples that go up to 3 of them. You'll notice, by the way, a 13% discount, if we'd added 9 and 4 to get a concurrent rather than consecutive, would have been $870 net price. So this is slightly more than that. You don't get the full 13% when you do them consecutive, one after the other. Well, rather than doing them individually like we did here, doing the 91 for the 9% and the 96% for the 4%, rather than doing them consecutively and separately like that, we can combine those trade discounts and to get a couple of key numbers, key factors. As we mentioned up above, that 9% discount means we're paying 91%. So the discount's 9%, the net price after that discount is 91%. That's just 100 minus 9. I'm going to write it as a decimal of 0.91. 4% discount, we do the same thing. 100 minus 4 leaves us with 96% as the net price. I'm going to write that as a decimal of 0.96. If I just multiply those 2 rates, 0.91 times 0.96, I get 0.8736. This amount is what is referred to as the net decimal equivalent. Now, I've heard other terms used with that, sometimes the single net equivalent, net price equivalency rate, things like that. It is just the single net decimal equivalent. That means that is the rate of the list price that is actually paid for the net price. If I wanted to find the net price, I take the list price times that net decimal equivalent. So for this example I had up above, $1,000 list price times 0.8736 would give us that $873.60, which is what we had calculated for our net price. Now from that, we can find another value, which is called the single discount equivalent. Again, I've seen different terms used for the single equivalent discount rate. They all have equivalent discount in the term somewhere. And this is found by first, we have to find that net decimal equivalent, but we calculate that single discount equivalent by just taking either 100% minus that net decimal equivalent, or since this is already the net decimal equivalent is always a rate, already as a rate, it's just 100% is, or 1 is 100% as a rate, minus that net decimal equivalent. So for this problem, we would have 1 minus our net decimal equivalent of 0.8736, which will give us 0.1264. That is our single discount equivalent. What that can be used for is we can find the dollar amount of our trade discount. By simply taking our list price times that single decimal equivalent. So for this example, that'd be the $1,000 list price times 0.1264, which is giving us a trade discount of $126.40. Now you'll note those two values better add up to the list price, and they do. $873.60 plus $126.40 does add up to our list price of $1,000. So that is the basics of single discount equivalent and net decimal equivalent. I'm going to give you one more example here quick with a 3 discount chain trade discount. Let's say we have a 1282 chain trade discount. We are going to find the net decimal equivalent, the single discount equivalent. We are going to find the net price, and we are going to find the trade discount, the dollar amount of the trade discount. If you would like to pause the recording here for a second and calculate those yourself, if we have a list price of $2,500, so if you'd like to pause again for a while and calculate those 4 things yourself, turn us back on here in a second and we will work through that solution for you. Well, welcome back. If you've calculated those yourself, great. If not, we're going to walk through them for you right now. So we have that chain trade discount, 1282. The 12% discount means we have a net price of 88, so 100 minus 12 is 88%. We're going to make that a rate or decimal of 0.88. An 8% discount, 100 minus 8 would leave us with 92. That's 0.92. 2% discount, 100 minus 2 is 98%. So again, as a decimal, that's 0.98. We're going to multiply those together. 0.88 times 0.92 times 0.98. We get 0.793408. That value right there is the net decimal equivalent. From there, to find the single decimal equivalent, or single discount equivalent, I should say, it's 1 minus that net decimal equivalent. So 1 minus 0.793408 is going to be 0.206592. So our single discount equivalent is 0.206592. Those two values, by the way, if you ever want to double check, those should always add up to 1. course, we used 1 to subtract to get that. They better add up. Find our net price. It is our list price, $2,500, times our net decimal equivalent, 0.793408. Giving us $1,981.02. That is our net price. Now, at this point, we could find the trade discount just by taking the list price and subtracting the net price. But I want to leave that to use to double check in just a minute. So to find that trade discount, we're going to do the list price, $2,500, times that single discount equivalent of 0.206592. Giving us $516.48. So now, let's double check. If we double check, the net price and the trade discount should add up to our list price of $2,500. If we add those up, right now we're getting $2,497.50. That can't be right. Did anybody catch the mistake that we made here? This is telling us that that's not right. We're off by $2.50. Well, if we go back through our calculations, 2,500 times 0.793408. In fact, if I look at my calculator history, I see that I typed in 0.792408. That's incorrect. That's why I did the list price times that net decimal equivalent, and then instead of just subtracting, I did the list price times the single discount equivalent. I did that so that I could add these two numbers up and double check to make sure they added to the list price. Here they didn't, so I know I need to go back and double check my calculations. There has to be a mistake somewhere. And in this case, the mistake is right here. So I'm going to recalculate my net price. So making sure I punch the calculator buttons correctly this time, I have 2,500 times 0.793408. Giving me $1,983.52 as my net price. Now let's double check. So we add that up, 0, 0, carry the 1, that's 10, carry the 1, that's 10, carry the 1. That is $2,500. So you can see there now it double checks. And we're confident that is the correct calculation. So you can see the advantages of calculating those separately rather than just going ahead and subtracting and assume we have it correct. That is it for this portion of the video. We're going to come back in the next portion and talk about going from that distributor to the consumer.